Every time when you watch the Republic Day parade in television, you get your chest and chin high with pride and honor the moment you see the battle tanks of the Indian Army. Battle tanks are essential to the Army as aircrafts to the Air Force and ships to the Navy. Every battle tank was taken up for a purpose, and on this day of Armored Corps, I would like to present you a very short, quick yet accurate details about the tanks of Indian Army which have been used since the year of 1936. Have a quick seat, and since I'm going to tell you a very large number of numbers, enthusiastic people can even note down these numbers in a particular sheet. Before beginning, I would like to tell you that SSB Crack Exams is India's largest, most preferred online defense exam preparation portal. It is one-stop solution for you if you are preparing for NDA, CDS, AFCAT, INET, Territorial Army and Indian Air Force Airmen Group X and Group Y. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Telegram, and even directly visit us through our website learn.ssbcrackexams.com, and even download our app from Google Play Store to have each and every defense-related information in your hands. The important battle tanks that I am going to discuss are these: the Vickers MK-VI, the M3 Stuart, M5 Stuart, M4 Sherman, Centurion, T-54, AMX-13, PT-76, T-55 Vickers MBT, MBT means main battle tank, BMP-1, BMD-1, including BMP-2, BMD-2, the T-72, T-90 tank, the Karna, Arjun and Bhishma. Some of these have been developed by the Defense Research and Development Organization, while some have been built in France, some have been built in UK, some in USA, some in Russia. So I will be discussing with you regarding where are all of these things have made. So the first battle tank that I am going to discuss is the Vickers MK-VI. This is the first battle tank that has been acquired by the Armored Corps of the Indian Army. This has been acquired in the year of 1936, and this tank can keep under itself a crew of 3 members, and it is manufactured by Vickers Armstrong UK. Production of around 1682 units have been formed. Only Australia, Canada, Egypt, India, United Kingdom and New Zealand are the users of this particular main battle tank, which was produced in the year of 1936. Its speed was 52 kilometers per hour and range was 201 kilometers. It weighed approximately for around 5 tons, and it had an engine known as a Meadows ESTL cylinder 6-cylinder gasoline engine which had a power of producing 88 horsepower. A number of 6 variants have been made in this particular battle tank. Next important battle tank is M3 Stuart, which is a light tank produced in the year of 1941, which can accommodate a crew of 4. Manufactured by American Car and Foundry Company of USA, it has been produced around 22,744 units and has been operated under 31 countries previously. Its speed was around 58 kilometers per hour and the range was around 113 kilometers. Its engine was one Continental W679A 7-cylinder which had 4-cycle radial gasoline engine giving 262 horsepower at 2400 RPM. A number of 9 variants have been made, and this small tank, which shows that it is a very light tank, but it weighs around 14 tons. Next important tank is M5 light tank of Stuart, produced in the year of 1942 or 1 year later. It can accommodate a crew of 4 members, and it has been manufactured by Cadillac division of the General Motors, Massey Harris and American Car and Foundry Company of USA. 8,884 units have been made, and it was operated by many countries which include Brazil, Haiti, India, Israel, Pakistan, Soviet Union, United Kingdom and United States. Its maximum speed was 58 kilometers per hour and maximum range was 160 kilometers. It had a two engines, which was Cadillac V8, 16 cylinders in total, gasoline producing 298 horsepower of power, and a number of 18 variants have been made in this particular tank. This tank weighs around 17 tons. Next important tank is M4 Sherman, which is a medium tank which was produced in the same year of 1942, and it can accommodate a crew of 5 members and was made by American Locomotive Detroit Tank Arsenal, Lima Locomotive among others of the USA. 50,000 units have been produced and it was operated in 53 countries. Its speed was around 39 kilometers per hour and its maximum range was around 193 kilometers. It had one Continental R975C1 9-cylinder gasoline fuel engine developing 400 horsepower at 2400 RPM, and around 98 different number of variants have been made in M4 4 Sherman tank, and this simple tank weighs around 31 tons. Next important information is Centurion A41 tank. This has been produced in the year of 1945, can accommodate a crew of 4 members and was manufactured by Dale & Motors Vickers Royal Ordnance Factory of the United Kingdom. A total of around 4,423 units have been made and was operated by Australia, Austria, Canada, Denmark, Egypt, India, Iraq, Israel, Kuwait, Lebanon, Jordan, Netherlands, New Zealand, Singapore, Somaliland, South Africa, Sweden, Switzerland and United Kingdom. Maximum speed was around 35 kilometers per hour and its maximum range it can reach up to 190 kilometers. Its weight is around 62 tons and more than 100 variants have been made in this particular Centurion tank, and that is why the engine used in this tank was one Rolls-Royce 12-cylinder liquid-cooled gasoline engine developing 650 horsepower at 2550 RPM. Next important tank is T4 MBT, MBT meaning main battle tank. T4, the moment you see this, the moment you see the word T, T54, T55, T72 and T90, all of these particular tanks have been manufactured by Russia. This particular tank has not only been manufactured by only Russia, it included the state factories of Russia, Poland, Czechoslovakia and China. It can accommodate a crew of 4 and was made in the year of 1949. Was produced around 50,000 units and was operated by 43 countries. Its maximum speed was around 48 kilometers per hour and maximum range was 400 kilometers. The speciality of this tank is that it weighs only around 40 tons and a number of 22 variants have been made. It has one V54 12-cylinder diesel fuel liquid cooled engine which can develop around 520 horsepower driving continental track and wheel arrangement. Next important tank is AMX-13 light tank. This is produced in the year of 1972 and can accommodate a crew of 3 members, manufactured by Giat Industries of France, has been produced around 7,700 units. Its operators include many number of nations. Please stay with me, I am reading each and every nation for you so that you can remember each and every nation. That is Algeria, Argentina, Australia, Belgium, Cambodia, Chile, Cyprus, Dominican Republic, Djibouti, Ecuador, Egypt, El Salvador, France, Guatemala, India, Indonesia, Israel, Ivory Coast, Kuwait, Lebanon, Mexico, Morocco, Nepal, Netherlands, Peru, Singapore, Switzerland, Tunisia and Venezuela. Around 24 nations, if I am not wrong, it has been presented here, and it has a maximum speed of around 60 kilometers per hour and can travel up to a maximum ranges of around 375 kilometers. It has one SOFAM model 8-cylinder water-cooled gasoline engine delivering 250 horsepower at 3200 RPMs, and around 19 variants have been made in this particular tank. And this tank weighs only around 17 tons. Important tank that I am going to discuss is about the PT-76, which is an amphibious light tank carrying vehicle. It was introduced in the year of 1952 and can carry a crew of around 3 members, and it was manufactured by the state arsenals of the Soviet Union. A total of 12,000 units have been produced, and the operators are so many nations, where some of them are very new nations, which include the Bosnia-Herzegovina, Benin, Congo, China, Croatia, Cuba, Guinea-Bissau, India, Indonesia, Laos, Madagascar, Nicaragua, North Korea, Soviet Union of Russia, and the Uganda, Vietnam and Zambia. It has a maximum speed of around 44 kilometers per hour and maximum range is 370 kilometers. To get more in detail about the engine particulars of this particular tank, it has one V6B 6-cylinder inline water-cooled diesel engine which can develop around 240 horsepower at 1800 RPM. Around only 4 of variants of this particular tank have been made, and it weighs around 16 tons. Next important tank is around T-55 main battle tank. This has been introduced in the year of 1948. 1947 we got independence, and 1 year later T-55 tank is introduced. It has accommodate around 4 crew members and manufactured by the state factories of various countries, which include the Soviet Union, China, Czechoslovakia, Poland and Romania. A total of around 50,000 units have been produced and have been used by 61 countries. Maximum speed 50 kilometers per hour and maximum range 500 kilometers. This has one V55 diesel fueled engine developing 80 horsepower, and it has a conventional track arrangement, and 20 variants have been produced in this particular tank, and 45 tons is the weight of this particular tank. Next is Vickers main battle tank, also known as VMBT in short, introduced in the year of 1965 by BAE Systems, Land Systems of the United Kingdom and Avadi Company of India. It can accommodate a crew of 4 members, and total of around 2,331 units have been made, and the only operators are only 5 countries, which include India, Kenya, Kuwait, Nigeria and Tanzania. Maximum speed is 50 kilometers per hour and maximum range is 490 kilometers. It has one Detroit diesel 12V71T turbocharged diesel fuel engine, and it can develop around 720 horsepower at 2500 rpm. 8 variants of Vickers MBT tank have been made, and this particular tank weighs around 43 tons. Next important tank is BMP-1. BMP means Boyevaya Machina Pechotti, which is a light tank, and IFV means Infantry Fighting Vehicle. It is introduced in the year of 1966 by the state factories of Soviet Union, Czechoslovakia, India and China. It can accommodate around 3 crew members. 26,000 units have been made and were used by 53 countries. Maximum speed was 65 kilometers per hour and maximum range is 500 kilometers. This is a very important tank. And one important thing that previously that we have discussed, that the Vickers MBT tank is very important. It is this particular tank which was converted into the Vijayanta tank in India. Okay, and BMP tank is very important for us because this tank, around 21 variants have been made and 14 tons was the weight of this particular tank. It used for the first time the UTD 26 cylinder inline water cooled diesel fuel engine, which can develop around 300 horsepower of power at 2000 rpm. Next important tank is BMD-1, which is Boyevaya Machina Descenta, which is amphibious armored light tank, also known as the infantry fighting vehicle. It is produced by the Volgograd tractor plant of Soviet Union. A crew of around 6 people can sit in it and was introduced in the year of 1969. 2000 units have been made, and the only operators of this particular tank were Angola, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Belarus, Cuba, India, Iraq, Iran, Moldova, Russia, Soviet Union, Ukraine and Uzbekistan. 80 kilometers per hour is the maximum speed and 600 kilometers is the maximum range of BMD-1 tank. BMD-1 tank has 15D20 6-cylinder liquid-cooled diesel engine developing 241 horsepower of power at 2600 rpm. 9 variants have been made and this tank only weighs around 8 tons. Next important tank is T-72 Ural, the main battle tank, introduced in 1972 by various Soviet Union, Russia, Poland, Czechoslovakia, India, Iran countries. It can accommodate a crew of around 3 members. 25,000 units have been made. 32 countries are using it. 67 kilometers per hour is the maximum speed and 483 kilometers is the maximum range. This particular tank is known in India as Ajaya. It was rebuilt and it was upgraded into the Indian version known as Ajaya tank, and 25 variants of T-72 have been made until now, and this tank weighs around 51 tons. Next important tank that I am to discuss is about the BMP-2, which is IFV infantry fight vehicle. This has been introduced in the year of 1982 by Kurgan Mashazvod, a Soviet Union company, and it can accommodate around 3 crew members. 35,000 units have been made. 38 countries are using it. Maximum speed 65 kmph and maximum range 600 kilometers, and it has one UDT 6-cylinder supercharged diesel fuel developing 400 horsepower at 2600 rpm. Around 15 variants of this tank have been made and this tank weighs around 16 tons. Next important tank is BMD-2, which is also an amphibious armored light vehicle and infantry fight vehicle, which has been introduced in the year of 1985 by Volgograd tractor plant of Soviet Union. A crew of 8 members can sit inside it. 2,150 units have been made and the operators include India, Russia, Soviet Union, Ukraine and Uzbekistan. 80 kilometers per hour is the maximum speed and 450 kilometers per hour is the maximum range of this particular tank. BMD-2 has been upgraded in India and was called as Sharat, and one UDT cylinder 6-cylinder supercharged diesel fuel developing 400 horsepower at 2600 rpm was the characteristics of the engine. Some tanks also included 15D20 liquid cooled 6-cylinder diesel engine at 241 horsepower at 2600 rpm. Around 4 variants have been made and this particular tank weighs around 13 tons. Next important tank is a very favorite tank that we people have been waiting for, which is T-90 main battle tank. This has been introduced in the year of 1995 by Ural, a company of Russia, and it can accommodate around 3 crew members. 2055 units have been made and was operated by countries including Algeria, Armenia, Azerbaijan, India, Pakistan if possible, and Russia, Syria, Turkmenistan and Uganda. Maximum speed is 65 km per hour and maximum range is 650 km. And this same tank, the T-90, is also named as Vladimir in Russia. If this particular tank has 3 different sorts of engine specifications, if it uses one V84 12-cylinder diesel fueled engine, then it will produce 840 horsepower. If it uses V92 engine, then it will produce 950 horsepower, and if it uses V96 12-cylinder diesel fueled engine, then it will produce 1250 horsepower. Around only 14 variants have been made and this tank weighs around 51 tons. Now we will go for the next important battle tank, and that is DRDO Tank EX, which is also known as the Karna, and it is produced in the year of 2002 by DRDO. Currently, this particular tank have been cancelled. If it was there, its maximum speed was around 60 km per hour and the maximum range is 480 km. A crew of 4 members can sit inside it. Only 2 units have been made and all of these have been discarded. Next important tank is DRDO Arjun, the main battle tank. Arjun tank is the India's main battle tank, and this has been introduced in the year of 2004 by the DRDO and the CVRDE and also the Heavy Vehicles Factory of India. Okay, and a crew of 4 members can sit inside this particular tank and only around 124 units have been made. India is the only operator and its maximum speed is 68 km per hour and maximum range is 483 km. Arjun tank has one MTU 838 KA501 12-cylinder liquid-cooled turbocharged diesel engine developing 1,400 horsepower at 2,500 RPMs. Around 6 variants have been made and this particular tank weighs around 65 tons. The last and important tank that I said that I will be discussing is the T-90M Bhishma tank. I said this particular tank is very important for us. The T-90M Bhishma variant is an upgraded variant of the T-90. That is why I am discussing it in a separate slide. And this particular tank is introduced in the year of 2009. A crew of around 3 people can accommodate, and it is manufactured by only Heavy Vehicles Factory of India. 354 units have been produced. India is the only operator and 60 km per hour is the maximum speed and 550 km is the maximum range. With this, I have finished all of the most important battle tanks that India had all up until now and all particular tanks that are being used by India. That's it for this particular video. We will be coming up with many new different concepts in front of you. Please subscribe to SSB Crack Exams channel, download our app from Google Play Store and have each and every information in your hand. Stay home, stay safe and Jai Hind.